Well, hey, y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. And y'all, I'm on here for a special person and a special reason. I'm waiting for my guest to show up. So, y'all just come on in, share this out, and let me see if I can get everything going. Hey, Vanessa Kitty, welcome in. Let me see if I can get everything working over here because I'm doing this late at night. I'm not used to doing it this late at night. Okay, maybe it'll work. Okay, so I'm waiting for his daughter to come up. And if y'all would do me a favor and share this out so we can get the word out that she's going to be on here. I have sent her a message. I'm going to send her another one and give her the link. Maybe it'll work. So y'all just hang on with me while I get all this together. Hey, Christy, welcome in. Hang on just a minute. Got to make sure it's all together, y'all. I'm having to type it into my cell phone, so y'all just bear with me for just a minute. And hopefully she'll pop up here in a moment. We received some very, very sad news today, and y'all, I loved Mr. Elliott. He's been with me since my very first live on my channel as a moderator and a friend. Yeah, he was quite a nice man. Okay, let me get you up here. There is the link. Hopefully it's going to come up. Got a stupid help thing in the way. It's not helping me none. So I'm going to give the screen over to Proud Nanny, who is Elliott's daughter, and allow her to talk about her dad and what exactly happened to let all of his followers know what's going on. And our deepest condolences and our prayers are going out to your family right now. My heart breaks with yours. So as soon as she comes up on that link, it may take a minute or two. We'll get going. But if everybody can share this out, I would deeply, deeply appreciate it. I'm going to go and share it out on my channel as well while I'm waiting for her to pop up. Let me find where I'm at. Whew. What a day, what a day. And I got to do some things on here to get this set up correctly. Thank you, baby, for coming in and praying. And I got to go over here. If we got any moderators in the house, because I did not set this up correctly, please be on the lookout for, those spammers that want to come in. Let me go over here and see where my live is. Is it popping up yet? No, it's not. So let me go check on something else while I'm waiting on that. You can come up anytime now, Proud Nanny. I'll be right back. It's going to take me just a moment to get everything set up. Come on. I can't move now. I got it going. So I'm waiting on her to come in. Anybody else? Are you able to come up, Proud Nanny? I'm flipping between screens to try to get to my live so I can get it set up. Why isn't the screen coming up? I may have to set it up afterwards. There she is. Hang on just a second.
Can you see me?
You're coming up. I know you are. There we go. Let me get me set down and let you be large. Or vice versa, however I have to do this. Oh, well, hold on. I don't know why it's not coming up. Hang on, Jennifer. Come on. Of course it don't want to work. Oh, my Lord. Y'all hang on just a minute. Jennifer, if you can hear me, back out and come back in.
Okay.
Hey, Monk, come on. Let me get rid of this because I think that's what's holding me up. It's not working. Okay, I'm going to back out and I'm going to come back in and we're going to try this again. So hold on. And I need to make sure my sound is up on my computer.
Can you hear
There
me?
you are. Yeah, I can hear you.
I had to come outside because I have no cell service at my dad's house.
I'm sorry. We're going to miss him so much. I know you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Jan. We got Rudy in the house, Vanessa, Kitty, my husband, Hilly Bill, Simply Jan, and Mark with Corner Clubhouse Cobalt. And if y'all would just share this out. Okay. Can you hear me, Jennifer?
Yes. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. You can go ahead and start sharing.
Well, this past week started like no other. A few texts from my dad here and there, and Tuesday morning, which was September 23rd, he had to take his brother to the hospital for some testing, and he was supposed to stay there with him all day. And my dad, being the hard-headed person he was, because he was strong-willed and hard-headed, he left and told my uncle, said, I'll be back to get you about 4:30. So my dad come home, and at about 10:30, he texts my uncle. I didn't speak to him that day at all. He texts my uncle and said, I think I left my water bottle at your house. Anybody that knows my dad personally knew he carried water with him 24/7. He never went anywhere without it. He had misplaced his water bottle, so he got in the car in his beloved vet, and he rode to Walnut Grove here in Georgia to look for his water bottle. That was at 10:45. He texted my uncle, and at 11 o'clock, he was met with a horrific crash. He was going westbound, and there was a F-350 hauling about a 40-foot gooseneck trailer, flatbed trailer, coming east, and a young girl on the east side of the road ran a stop sign and hit the F-350 in the passenger door. When she did that, he lost control and flipped, but the trailer still stayed upright. My dad was in the westbound lane, and the gooseneck trailer proceeded to run over his car and him. And it was a very, very horrific crash. Very.
Oh, I just can't imagine what you're going through right now.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
It's been the roughest 6 days of my life. It was not a way, that my dad wanted to go. It was, he's still at the GBI crime lab in Atlanta. They can't ID him. There was nothing left. If people will go to the GoFundMe, there is pictures of his car there. He didn't stand a chance, and they're investigating, and I told them that I wanted charges brought. My dad would still be here with us. He left behind grandchildren, great grandchildren, and it's been a rough 6 days.
Oh my goodness. Can you type in the GoFundMe or get the link and put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Are you able to do that?
I'm not as good as my dad with this YouTube stuff. I'm gonna type his name.
She'll be back, folks. Give her just a moment. There she is. Hang on. Get you back up there, baby.
I told you I'm not as good with this YouTube as he was. I may have to just tell y'all the name on the GoFundMe. It's under his name. If you go to GoFundMe.com and put in his first name, he did not like his first name. It was Dewey, Dewey. You could put in Dewey Arwood, Arwood, and it comes up. Actually, his car is the main picture on there. Some people said, you shouldn't have put his car, but that was my dad's beloved car. And it's just funny that, he was in it when he passed, because I made a joke at the, when we went and looked at the car after the wreck, and I said, my dad would be so mad right now to see his car like this.
Yeah, because he had been working on it for months.
We took him in 2019 down to Jacksonville, Florida, and he bought that car. And because he had one when I was younger, and a crazy girlfriend had tore it up, and it haunted him for a long time. And he bought it, and like a few days after he bought it, the motor went out. So I kept pushing him, Daddy, get that motor rebuilt. This is your dream. Do it before you pass. And he put a lot of money into it, and he got it running this year. And he got it running at the end of last year, actually last September, but he still had a lot to do to it, and he was real picky with it. And so
I'm looking at the car right now. So
yeah, I can't. My grandbabies and my daddy were really good with YouTube. I don't really do YouTube, so I tried to go on his channel earlier, because his roommate kept telling me, have you been on his channel yet? And I'm like, I would really love to go on there, and just because my dad always told me stories of talking to everybody on there, and his morning coffee shows he done. And I never even went and watched his shows. I think he may have put me on one of them, shooting his gun in my backyard one time or something, but I'm just not a YouTube person. But I really wanted his, YouTube friends to know what had happened, and just kind of, I wanted to hear some memories of him, but I couldn't figure out how to get on there. But
thank you, Vijo. I appreciate you coming in. He says, hi, folks. Walt here. There will be some videos cropping up shortly to share the sad news and the GoFundMe page. And I just dropped the GoFundMe page.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So anybody that can donate, please donate to this to help them.
He left me. I have my own home, which is an hour from my father. And since I found this out, I've been at his house and just deserted my place. I feel close to him here, and I think I'm going to take over his house. He was remodeling. I want to finish that for him. And we're just struggling that this happened all of a sudden. We've got to try to get him buried. And, that, it's as painstakingly as it is, it has to be done. And I'm a school bus driver. So, school bus drivers don't make a lot of money. But
yeah, the one good thing that might come out of this is he probably didn't know what hit him.
Well, that's the first thing I asked. Somebody had stopped at the site, and they had put it on Facebook and said that they were there before anybody arrived, any emergency personnel. And I said, all I want to know is, did my father suffer? And he said, no, ma'am. He said, I keep thinking, I keep looking at, I went down that same road and looked at it from his point of view, and I know he probably seen it coming. I know that he's seen that truck get hit, and he probably called out to Jesus. I know, I'm pretty sure he did, but he didn't suffer. And that's the only, that's what I'm holding on to. And, my dad had some health problems, his back and all, and some people on here would probably know that. So I'm just looking at it as that he's not suffering anymore,
No, and thank you, Jesus, that he knew the Lord.
Yes.
Because we've had conversations, he was a part of my group. We had a little private group, and he was part of that, and I've let them know, and I'm just really, really shocked. I knew I hadn't seen him in a few days,
Yeah. Yeah, it took me for the first 3 days. I did nothing but cry and, the pain and the guilt.
Well, honey, he loved you, and it's okay. You can cry. We're all here for you. It's okay.
I think it's so hard because of the way he passed, it, and I can't have him in a casket and tell him goodbye. He has to be closed, and I'm still sitting here. Tomorrow's the 7th day, 1 week, and he's not even been identified. And we're in the dark about everything. And that's just a hard. And my dad always told me, said, Jennifer, please don't cremate me, because, and even though he loved the Lord and knew his body was nothing after he passed, he always said, I don't want anything to happen to my body. Bury me and let my body be whole. And unfortunately, he passed away in such a horrific way that his body was, not left whole. But he don't have to worry about that anymore. He's up with Jesus. And
I don't know if they can see that or not. Let me switch screens.
yeah.
If it'll
And
pop back.
I personally did that GoFundMe several
That's
days after, I think yesterday or the day before, and only because I was so desperate um, for help, because we have a very small family. We don't have. He's got his brother and me, and I have a brother. And besides the grandkids and great grandbabies, that's the only family we have.
that's what's left of his car, y'all. So please, please, everybody, share this out and share out the GoFundMe to help his family so that he can be buried and they can put him to rest. Yeah, Jan, he has a new body now. That's the one thing we can take out of this is there's no pain, no suffering.
Yep.
You know, all things are made new according to God's word, and we can rejoice in that. Not the way that he went, but we can rejoice in the fact that we know that he's in heaven.
Yep.
And truly, truly, y'all, this is just a horrific accident that happened. I don't know. They didn't say I read the news article. They didn't say anybody else was injured. So I don't know if there was any more injuries.
No, there was no more injuries. The truck that flipped, when I seen the truck, I was really shocked. I thought they were hurt, and they said that nobody else was hurt in the accident. So I was thankful for that. But at the same time, I was, why did it have to be my dad? And you just ask all those questions, and what if, and I may never get answers on that, but at least he's in a better place.
Yes, ma'am. And you've already got another $100 donated.
Thank y'all for that.
I just looked at it. I was like, I'll get with my husband and we'll try to donate something also towards whatever expenses that you might have.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. He loved his reloading stuff, and I haven't been able to touch none of it. And my uncle, his brother, said, Jennifer, just try to sell some of his stuff and help pay for his burial. And but that's hard, because I don't care what any of it's worth. Everything in his house right now to me is sentimental, and I feel like if I do, sell anything or give anything away, then I'm losing a part of him.
Rudy, I can't let you come up, baby. This is very, very personal right now. I need to take the StreamYard down so he'll stop popping up. Rudy has autism, so you just have to pardon that. But just, there's really no words to comfort you other than knowing that he knew the Lord
Yeah. I
and that
made
he
this. Go ahead.
and that he's with the Lord. And you know, I wish I had words to comfort you.
Yeah, I know it. And my husband, he tells me the same thing. He says, I really don't even know what to say or do. And of course, nothing anybody says or does is at this moment's really going to help me. I went to church Sunday, and I went because I needed some comfort or some peace in my heart. And I did get it. I did get it while I was in church. And, I felt the Lord. Um, but in times like this, it's kind of hard to do anything to get peace or comfort until time kind of helps that a little bit. But this will be something with me for the rest of my life. But I wanted to, okay, if y'all can see behind me, I'm under his garage, and my dad was a pack rat, so there's a lot of stuff up under here. But I made this today for him, and I'm gonna put it up at his service since we can't see him. But I did the clouds behind him like he was in heaven, and I'm just going to cherish that. I'm going to hang that up in my house when the service is over for my dad.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ruby, with Rushing Wind Mountain for coming in. Um, your dad knew so many people on YouTube. And, we always say the small channels are the YouTube family. We always considered each other family. So,
Yes, he loved getting on his YouTube. I would call him and he would say, "I'm in the middle of a stream. I'm in the middle of a stream." And he just loved it. He was lonely. I lived an hour away and didn't get to spend a lot of time with him, and I worked and got the grandbabies and all, and this was something he enjoyed doing when we wasn't around and stuff.
yeah. Welcome in, Katie's Kitchen. She says, share it out. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Yeah, that picture is precious.
Yeah.
He was such a down to earth person. You know, he
He
talked about
was.
he talked about the things he loved, and he tried to get the message out about the Second Amendment. I can't even talk. Second Amendment, and I think that's why we kind of got together, is because I was very, very proactive in politics at the time on my channel, and he just ate it up. Um,
Yeah, he was very much into politics, and when we sat around the Thanksgiving table and all, that was what he talked about. And boy, them grandkids, they were like, "Can I please go outside?" They didn't like that. They called him, and this was weird because my my grandson, who is his great grandson, was the first great grandson for him, and his name is Caden, and he loves him to death. And he actually showed on his channel about him killing his first deer last year. Um, my dad told my grandson, said, "You've got to figure out a name for me, because you call your grandfather Pawpaw and you call me Pawpaw, and I don't know who you're talking to." So my grandson at 3 years old looks up at him and says, "I got a good name for you." He said, "I'm gonna call you Pow Pow." And my dad loved that because he done his reloading, so it's always been for 9 years Pow Pow, and it just he loved it. But yeah, he used to always say, "Man, Pow Pow knows everything about politics. That's all he talks." That's all. He really did love it. Actually, when we have his memorial, um, at the church, we are going to have some stuff set up that he loved, and we've got a replica metal car for his vet, and we've got an Elvis book that we purchased that was all about Elvis and his picture and a few things, pictures of his grandkids and great grandkids. And so it's going to be a very special day to honor him.
It will be. Welcome in the Tinker's wife. Thank you for coming in. And somebody up here, let me go back up on my screen here. Simply Jan Homestead said, Jennifer, try to remember the funny times, the quirky things he did. When my dad passed away, we laughed and cried until our stomachs hurt. Yeah, my dad passed away 28 years ago. And, so I had that gut-wrenching feeling when I was reaching out, trying to find out what was going on. And I knew something was wrong. And I knew that I figured it wasn't him because he could get the lives going.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we were able to contact one another so that you could get this done and get this part of it behind you.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that God will just comfort you with an everlasting peace that only he can give. And if you would do me a favor and just, let me know. You've got my email. I'll give you my phone number in the email. If there's anything else that we can do to help y'all along the way, as small YouTubers will usually come together for things like this.
It's very much appreciated. And I thank you so much for just taking a few minutes out and, out of your time.
That's no problem at all. It's my pleasure, as I always told him. It's always my pleasure. So.
Okay. I'm going to get off. I have to be at the cemetery at 9:30 in the morning and start all that. I'm trying to get everything in place for him before, I was hoping they would call me today for him to be ID'd, but they didn't. So I'm just trying to get a step ahead because, I just know that those days are going to be really hard. And while I got my head together, today was a better day than it's been. So I said, well, I got my head together. I'm calling everybody and I'm going to try to get this going because I'm ready. Being in limbo is hard and I'm ready to have that day to share the love we had for him with my family and tell him goodbye.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but you'll be able to get through it because we're all going to be praying for you.
Thank y'all so much.
And I will, as soon as I get off here with you, I'm going to go ahead and give you my phone number. And please call me if you need to talk to somebody because I'm always good for listening, if nothing else.
Okay.
We got new checks. Came in. And we're glad that you were able to be here. We've shared the GoFundMe. And if somebody can grab that again and drop it, it's in the chat. Drop it again. And, I can do that. I got it on my phone right now. Make sure y'all go over there and take care of donating towards that. You're needing how much?
The burial for to get him to do the in and out is $1,600. That's what they told me today, and that's really all I need. His little bit of life insurance he had is covering the funeral home, but where he's being buried at in Hill Haven in Monroe, Georgia, it's they have their own special rules and they don't let anybody else come in. They hire the people directly. And so I was kind of shocked when they told me that because I thought everything was going to be together. And they said we had to pay that cash up front, $1,600 for them to open and close the grave.
Mm. Welcome in Whistle Stop Homestead and Tiffany with Canadian Family Life. We are celebrating the life of Elliott, AR Patriot 1776. This is his daughter, Jennifer.
Yes.
And he had a horrific accident that killed him. And I hate to use the word killed because we know he's in heaven. He may not be here physically, but he's in heaven, and we're thankful for that. If anybody out there can share out his GoFundMe or this live so that everybody can know what has gone on, we would deeply, deeply appreciate that.
Definitely.
So Elliott was quite a man. He loved that Corvette. I know he did.
Yeah. He was very some people didn't like my daddy on YouTube because he didn't care what he said. He would tell them like it is, and if he didn't agree with you, he would tell you he didn't agree with you. He made some people mad, and he's made people in the family mad. He's got them upset, but you just had to know how to take him. He was really he had a big heart. He loved us and loved his vet, and he loved his home. He bought his first home actually 20 years ago, and that's why I'm here. I want to honor him and finish remodeling his home, and just do what he didn't get to do. But
yeah, he was working on some wiring, I think, not too long ago. Welcome in, Low Family Adventures. I appreciate you coming in. We have dropped the GoFundMe. I'll drop that again. And if y'all can donate, please do, to help with the funeral expenses. It's mainly for the opening and closing of the grave, from what I understand.
if we get any more than the open and closing, we get to have the graveside service. How it was when I went to the funeral home today, it was $9,800. He has $10,000 life insurance policy. The vault was $2,500 just by itself. Well, they said if we bought the vault through the cemetery for only $2,000, they would do a graveside service included in that $2,000. But for the $9,800, he doesn't have a graveside service. We're only having a church service. And that's not, the funeral home's not even going to be there. That we're not even going to have him at the church. They're going to do like an immediate burial. So if we do get any more raised, it is going towards to buy the vault at the cemetery and have that graveside service. And
Yeah.
if we don't, I'm at peace with saying my goodbyes at the church and then the family going to the grave afterward. And, but if there is any more raised, it's definitely going to be, because I feel like I want to leave that church and go to that graveside and be able to say some prayers and say my final goodbyes and stuff.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is not being able to say that final goodbye.
Yeah, very hard.
That last "I love you."
Yep.
That's the hard part. But he was a very caring man, I could tell you that.
Yeah.
He cared about the community that he was in and around. He was always here supporting me.
Yep. He was a special person.
He definitely was that. And he's probably up there burning Jesus' ears right now. Got the best of our nation.
Yep. He's probably talking him to death. That's what we always said. I would come visit him, and he'd talk my ear off in the house. I'd say, "Well, Daddy, I gotta go," because I lived an hour away. "I gotta go, Daddy." He'd follow me outside. He'd sit at my car for another hour and talk. I'd say, "Daddy, I gotta go." He's like, "I know, hun." That's what he called me. He said, "I know, hun. I just hate to see you go." But he loved to talk.
Welcome in, Lady Sky. Thank you. She said, "Very, very sorry for your loss."
Thank you.
Walter Vijo, I'm not saying it right, Viho. He said he was always working on something. My screen just flipped on me. He was always working on wiring, internet cable, and so forth. Yep.
Yeah, I told my daughters today. I said, your papa, he left me in a mess. We got Cat 6 wires run all over this house, and I I can't even hardly do YouTube, so I don't know what in the world I'm gonna do with it, but I'm
Yep.
gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right where it's at. He's got it run through closets and up in the attic of the house, and I can't tell you what I'm gonna do with it, but it's gonna sit right there.
Walter wants to know if the dog is being cared for.
Yes, I was gonna keep him here, but I had so much on my mind, especially the first 3 days. I could not focus on the dog, and I tried. So his brother took the dog, who has a big fenced-in yard, and I think he wanted his brother to have him because his brother's just like him, single, and he's gonna take good care of the dog.
Well, that's good. Welcome in, Lizelle Willie Vlog. Thank you for coming in. We're celebrating the life of Elliott Arwood, AR Patriot, 1776.
Tell her I'm online.
I may not be able. Okay, it's Bay Yi Ho. Thank you, Bay Yi Ho. Bay Yaho. I might get it right one of these days. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank y'all.
I know it's hard to come up here, but you're loved because we loved your daddy.
Thank y'all. And I know he thought a lot of y'all too. He was always talking about his YouTube friends and how he loved to get on and chat with all y'all. Y'all kept him company when he didn't have his family around.
Yep.
So,
Like I said before, he's going to be missed.
yes, he is. That's for sure. Sometimes I keep thinking I don't even know how I'm going to make it without him. I'm going to miss his long text where he's just out of nowhere pops up a text about something Trump did or some other politician, and I just look at the text and be like, my daddy's on a rant again about a politician, and but I'm gonna miss him now.
Yep. He wouldn't tell you if he didn't love you.
I know. What's really sad too is we were supposed to go camping in 2 weeks with the grandbabies, and he was looking forward to it. And when I got here, when I got here Wednesday, he had all his camping stuff in the living room. But I did want to say another little thing right quick. I just had to say this. So remember I told you he was going to Walnut Grove to find his water bottle.
Right.
The night I got here, Wednesday night, I was in his bedroom, and I was sitting on his bed, and something just told me to look up under the bed, and I looked up under the bed, and there was his water bottle.
Oh my goodness.
And I broke down because I think he was maybe getting a little touch of dementia, but not a lot, because I mean he mostly was, really good, but he could not remember that he didn't have his water bottle when he come home from after taking his brother, and that water bottle, and I've got it sitting on his bedside table and can't seem to move it because he lost his life going to get that, and it was here the whole time.
Mm.
That breaks my heart.
Well, sometimes God does things like that to put us where he wants us to be. And I know that's hard to hear.
Yeah. Well,
But
he was 70 years old, and even though as horrific as it is, I'm trying to look at it as I think God saved him from maybe a painful death. Like he could have got cancer and suffered like his mama did. So God took him really quick, and now he doesn't have to suffer any kind of illness because he always was scared of that. He was scared of suffering like his mom. So
Mm.
I'm thankful in that sense, you know.
Yeah, he didn't look 70 by any means.
Oh no, he was proud of his looks. He was he was a ladies' man when he was younger, and he was always proud of his looks. And boy, the older he got, he would come and say, "Man, Jennifer, I don't feel 70, but I'm starting to look it." And he would always say, "I got to go get surgery. I got to look young again." And I said, "Daddy, you're old. Just face it." And he would just laugh, and I ain't old. I ain't old. He he didn't he didn't like being old.
Hey yo, I still ain't got it right. I said, Jennifer, you'll never forget. See, it jumped on me again. Hang on a second. I need to learn to put these up on screen. You're not supposed to, but you will learn to live with it. And Vanessa said, I shared your link on Gary Gizzard's channel just now to help spread the word about the GoFundMe too. Your dad was such a gun websites welcome in. Says your dad was such a great dude. He will be missed by so many of us. We'll always think fondly of him and his contributions to our community and conversations. He touched a lot of lives.
Yes. And I really do appreciate everybody. It's made me feel a little bit better. It's took my mind off things just coming on here and hearing that, so many people thought good of him and that he'll be missed.
Ron Wayne says, I'll miss you, Elliott. Always a great time in his streams I could catch. Prayers for the family. And Vanessa Kitty says he will be missed greatly. And for y'all that don't know, you come through my live, I give some watch time back. And I'm giving it to the new channels that are in here so that I can connect with y'all. Most of y'all already know and get you on there anyway. So if I miss you, forgive me, but I'm trying to get all the new ones that are coming in. And it's late, It's nighttime. You're in Georgia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock here. So.
Yeah, there's like an hour difference between you and us.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother lived in Atlanta at one time, or right outside of Atlanta in Marietta.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to go there as a teenager.
My daddy loved Georgia. He was from Alabama, but he never did want to go back. He loved Georgia.
Thank you, Vanessa Kitty. And thank you, Jan, for sharing out the GoFundMe. Vanessa says she found my channel through Elliott. Mm-hmm. He really was a great guy. I can't express that enough. He was a great guy.
And he also left me something because we didn't get a lot of home videos because he was always talking so much. When we had our family get-togethers, you couldn't really video or take pictures because he just talked to everybody and was always so busy around the table and walking and chasing everybody, talking them down. And I told my husband, he left me his YouTube channel. I get to go back now and watch all his streams he done. And so I'm very thankful that he found YouTube because now I get to watch him talk about all that stuff and have all those fond memories.
Yep.
So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching him playing with a dog. He had one video out there. He was playing with a dog.
He loved his dog.
Yeah. Vanessa Kitty says, wonderful, caring people in our communities. I was on his very first live test show. Mm-hmm. And Simply Jan said, that's awesome, Jennifer. Well, you do look a little bit like your daddy.
I never have thought I have because I look more like my mom, but I take more after my daddy. Me
Yeah.
and my daddy, we were really close. I was always a daddy's girl. And I'm the only girl, the oldest, and so I was always really close to him.
But that makes it even harder because I
Yeah.
was a daddy. I was the only girl. Well, I was the only child from my dad. My mom had two other children by a previous marriage. And so I was his baby. And it was so
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I always knew that this day would be hard. When I heard, and it was really hard because when he texted my uncle and said, I'm on the way to get the water bottle, um, he never showed up to pick my uncle up at the hospital. And he was supposed to pick him up at 4. And my uncle called me. I had just got off the school bus, and he called and he said, Jennifer, your daddy ain't showed up to get me. And sometimes him and his brother would get into arguments and they would just block each other. And because my dad was very hard headed, very opinionated. And so I asked my uncle, I said, did you say something to make him mad? And he's like, I don't think so, but he probably blocked me, Jennifer. And I said, well, do you need me to come and get you? I'll come and get you. And we didn't think anything because I knew how them two were. And my dad had also had trouble with his phone charging. And I kept trying to call him, and I called him all night. And I kept asking my uncle, did you hear from him? He said no. And, we hadn't heard nothing from nobody. And I live an hour away. So I told my husband, I was like, we need to go check on him tomorrow. And I tried him all the next morning. And then at lunch, the only way we found out was somebody from the church told my uncle, said, well, you haven't heard from Elliott, but there was a wreck with a red car right here near the church. And so my uncle called the Georgia State Patrol or the sheriff's department. And when he called me, my world fell apart. I was not expecting that. I thought my daddy was just sitting at home on his back hurt a lot. I thought he was sitting there waiting on his new phone to be delivered through Amazon so he could call me and say I got a new phone. That was a nightmare. Worst day of my life.
Bless your heart.
But I'm trying to think positive out of it, and I know he's not hurting anymore. I'm thankful for that. I know he's not sitting here alone and struggling. And
Walter said we've been in contact with his friend Dave, aka Echo. He was unaware.
yeah, I had seen Echo on his AR channel, on his channel when I went on. And like I said, I'm not good with YouTube, so I could not figure out how to write anybody. I went and I know my daughter messaged, I think you,
Hmm.
um, and I did read where some people was like, this is not happening. And, I didn't want nobody to think that it was any kind of horrible joke or anything. I was just trying to get it out because I knew he would want people to know that he was not here anymore. And so,
Well, I shared, on my YouTube channel before I talked to your daughter because I was so concerned about him. And
yeah.
then she told me, so I went in there and made a comment underneath that. And I also added it onto Facebook because so many people that are on YouTube, we connect over there a lot. So I shared it out on YouTube. And when you have the obituary ready, I'll be glad to share that as
Yeah.
well.
And he will, as soon as, and I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week. And when they ID him finally, I had to give them his dentist name, and they said they had reconstruction in. I think they're having to reconstruct his dental to match up. Not they couldn't get fingerprints. They couldn't, identify by photos or anything. No, I mean,
DNA.
that's going to be their last step, they said. That if they cannot do it by the dental, then they will. The reason they didn't want to do DNA, they said it could take so long for the results to come back, and then that leaves us just sitting here.
Yeah.
But
I already have my DNA in a data bank.
yeah, that's a good idea. But as soon as I will let everybody know, Meadows Funeral Home in Monroe, Georgia. Um, hopefully, once we get everything planned, his obituary will be on there. Um, and I've still got to sit down, and try to write that and think of all the things I want to say, because I want to try to make him a special.
Well, he was special.
He was. He was.
He was definitely special. Would
He
you think
always.
they could put a stat on the DNA results? They should be able to do that.
I'm hoping. I actually that the GSP called me Friday and said they work tomorrow. They're gonna be working on on him. Said hopefully you'll hear something first thing Monday morning. Well, it's Monday and I heard nothing, so I know he did not get ID today. But um, I don't. I was like, can y'all please give me a timeline? I'm sitting here. We know it's him. We know it was his car. He wouldn't let nobody else drive it. They're saying, well, 100% officially, we can't declare it's him. Georgia State Patrol knows it was him, but coroner and GBI said before we can make it legal, I'm hoping that it's done ASAP. I don't want it to just keep going on. It's just too
Yeah.
much to bear.
Yeah, it's a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he don't care at this point
No.
if they identify him or not because he's in heaven.
Yep. I wrote on my Facebook page yesterday. I said, "Good morning, Daddy." I said, "I don't know how I'm going to do it without you, but when I do see you one day, I'm going to give you the biggest hug ever."
Yep. Oh, I got to look at the time.
Yep. It's 11 o'clock here. I've got to be at the cemetery in the morning, and I've been for 5 days. I've been working on his house and cleaning it for him and looking at everything that I needed to do. So I'm tired. I've worked all day long. I've tried to keep myself busy, try not to think about it, and I'm going to bed. But I thank all of y'all. I thank, you know, everybody for sharing the GoFundMe. Um,
Before you go, I do want to give you one piece of advice.
okay.
When they do give you the death certificate, make sure you get several copies
Yep.
because some
I think,
places won't take a copy of it. They'll have to have the
right.
original.
I think he told me the normal was 10, and I said, just give me 10 then to make sure that I got enough. I hope that's enough.
Yep.
Um, so
Well, you put one back for yourself, and then the rest of them, if they need the original, you give them the original. If not, they make a copy of it. But and it's gonna be a long road ahead of you, honey. I know it is.
yeah.
There's so many loose ends that you're gonna have to get taken care of. Bank accounts, the bills that he may not have had paid yet,
Yeah.
or things like that. But we'll be praying for you, and I sent you my phone number, so you have that, and you can call me. I'm usually up really early in the morning, like
Okay.
5:30.
Me too.
But we love you, and thank you so much for
Thank
willing
you.
to come up here.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you couldn't do it on your dad's channel, but at least we got it done. And
Yes, I'm glad. Thank y'all so much.
thank you, everybody, for coming in. Please share the live out, share the GoFundMe out. I'm going to drop that one more time.
Thank y'all. Have a good
And
night.
hey, DJ, play nice. He said, "Good evening. I was a moderator on Elliott's YouTube channel. I wanted to stop by and offer my serious condolences for your loss. He was a great dude, and I respected him a lot. I will miss him."
Thank you for that. That means a lot.
All right. Well,
All right.
you rest.
Yes.
I'm gonna pray angels lull you to sleep tonight so you can get a good rest.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
Be blessed, everybody. Thank you again for coming in.